But when creating good pain, I want to talk about a concept called a pain cycle. Pain cycle. Pain cycle is a very specific way to create pain with every specific sales point. You may have 5 to 10 sales points in your presentation. If you use a pain cycle, each time you get into a sales point or a problem, you'll be much more effective. And I'll explain kind of what an explainer does with a sales point and what a closer or somebody who creates pain does with a sales point. Number one, an explainer just says, yeah, solar's really cool because solar's really cool because it goes on your roof and you don't have to pay for your power anymore. That's an explainer. A person who creates pain is going to start with a question, followed by the customer usually saying yes or being audible. Oh yeah, hey, I've had that problem, whatever. But a person who's good is going to wait for this person for the customer to be audible. Followed by a yes. Followed by some sort of bandwagon effect with a customer, followed by an explanation. See, the guy who creates pain still explains, but he's got 4 steps before that. And then we're going to relieve pain. We're going to relieve pain, and we're going to ask another question. So let me walk you through what this might look like with a couple sales points you guys might be using. Let's talk about rates raising, and let's talk about summer rates and how you might do a pain cycle with that. So you're going to start with a question, something like, hey, Mr. Customer, one of the things we've seen a lot in this neighborhood is people are kind of having one of 2 problems. The first problem being they just have been seeing their rates raise every single year and continue to raise. So a lot of people have seen that, or a lot of people have seen where they're actually using a lot less power. Maybe somebody moved out, or they've gotten a lot more energy efficient. But with that, their bill is staying exactly the same. So they're not seeing any savings for that. So which one would you guys fall under? Are your bills just really going up, or is your bill staying about the same, but you're having a lot of, you're not using as much electricity as you before? Customers that say, oh yeah, dude, last couple of years since we've lived here, I've noticed my rates are going up a lot. That's the one that I am. I'm like, okay, cool, perfect. Bandwagon. Yeah, that's why a lot of people in this area have been going solar lately, is because with solar, with solar, you actually get a locked-in rate with the way it works. So instead of seeing your rates continue raising, it's just going to be flattened out. You're not going to relief of pain. You're not going to have to deal with that. You're not going to have to deal with that anymore, which is awesome. Okay, so that was a full pain cycle, start to finish. The thing you have to understand is when you simply say, like for instance, I did this analogy earlier. Like let's say we're out selling cereal, right? We're selling cereal, and we just say, dude, you got to try strawberry Wheaties. They're amazing, right? People are like, oh, okay, cool, right? There's no emotional pain, therefore no decision to change. But let's say maybe it's something like this. Hey, you know how like when you guys eat Captain Crunch, it's like Freddy Krueger in your mouth, right? Yeah, that's the reason why nobody eats Captain Crunch anymore. And really with strawberry frosted mini Wheaties, you're really not going to have to deal anymore, and it tastes awesome, so you're not going to have to deal with that anymore. It sounds silly, but if you do it to yourself enough, like you'll start to see there's a very big difference between explaining and creating pain. Because when somebody feels pain, and then you give them a way to relieve pain, there's a switch that happens in their head where they actually want to make a change or a decision. If you don't do this, they will literally listen to you like, oh, this is good info. Oh, good info. Oh, that's great info. So glad you stopped by today. We're going to need to think about it. And if you're running into that, that's why. It's because you're not creating any pain. There is no mechanism for change. There is no reason to change. They haven't felt any pain. So if you're an explainer, stop. And if you want to create pain, let's start doing that. I'm going to do summer rates real quick. Hey, Mr. Customer, one thing a lot of people notice around here is during the summer, their bills are a lot higher. Have you guys noticed the same thing? Yeah, our bills are higher in the summer. Everybody knows that. Cool. Hey, one of the reasons that is because Rocky Mountain Power actually jacks the rates up during the summer. So it's not just because you're using more usage during the summer, but because Rocky Mountain Power actually jacks the rates up, which a lot of people have hated. And that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people have been going solar in your area, is because with the newer system, with solar on your house, you don't have to have the jacked up rates during the summer, and you're not going to have to deal with that anymore. Okay? So guys, get used to this. Maybe I'll do one more with renting power. Renting power versus having, renting from Rocky Mountain Power. Hey, so one thing that a lot of people have noticed is just like, you guys bought this house, right? Yeah, we bought this house. Cool. When you bought the house, were you guys renting before that? Yeah, we've been renting for a little while. So why was it a good, I'll just ask them. So when you were renting, did you guys decide to buy because you felt like you were throwing your money away? Yeah, we just felt like you're renting, you're just throwing your money. Yeah, that's another really big reason why a lot of people have been going solar lately, is because when you don't have solar, you're literally just renting power from Rocky Mountain Power, and you're just throwing your money away. With solar, you take that money, and now instead of paying it to the power company, you're actually going to pay off a solar loan that's going to help you put panels on your roof, which means now your money is not just thrown away, it's put into the equity of your home, which people have loved. So with that whole throwing your money away, you guys wouldn't have to deal with that anymore. Okay? So hopefully that gives you an idea of what creating pain is and how to do a proper pain cycle and how to walk through that. Guys, if you do this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a presentation, you will start to see people get a lot more into your presentations. They'll start to be more excited. They'll start asking better questions. You'll start seeing their head changing. I'm making a change. You'll start to see it in their eyes. Very important that you learn how to create pain. The next thing we're going to talk about is translation. I thought about making another video for this, because I could do an hour video on this by itself, and I will. But I think for right now, what's important is that I maybe give you some basics on translation and how this works. And really what this is we're talking about translation by personality type. Translation by personality type. This is one of those things that if it's done effectively, you can take your 30-40% closing ratio into the 80s, 90s, just unbelievably high closing ratios if you understand your people and you understand how to sell to them by personality type. I'm going to write up a few things, not a lot, but if you've talked to me before, this will make a little sense. But there are 4 personality types. There are controllers, promoters, analysts, and supporters. The thing that I can't stress enough, and please hear me on this next thing, do not try to figure out what your people are. Oh, he's a promoter, I'm going to sell my... Don't do that. Sell as if there's a controller in the room, a promoter in the room, an analyst in the room, and a supporter in the room. Sell as if all 4 people are sitting in the room. Do not try to pick out what this person is and try to sell them that way. Okay? So how do we sell a controller? Well, what is a controller? A controller is the type of people who, when you were knocking doors, they open the door like, yeah, what do you need? Right? That's a controller. Need to be in control. They're abrupt type of people. What's a promoter? A promoter is still a kind of a dominant person, but pretty laid back kind of dominant person. Like they're kind of maybe like the life of the party type person. They want to make sure everybody's okay. They're that type of person. What do you have in an analyst? Analyst, exactly what it says. The type of people that they're going to think and analyze and make the right decision and do those kind of things. Supporters are the type of people very, very soft, usually very kind, taking care of people, that kind of stuff. And it's important to understand these people because the more you understand them, the easier it gets to sell them. And when I do this exercise, you're not here, so I'm going to ask some questions. And hopefully as I go through this process, you're going to figure out which one you are. And I'm going to ask a question at the end that's very important. So let's go through this real quick. A controller. They love control. Okay? They love being safe. They dislike change. Okay? Their biggest fear is loss of control. This is their biggest fear. They hate Loss of control. Okay? What is their goal? To be safe. Man, if I could just be safe, I could be happy. Okay? Promoters. Promoters love like stories. They love fun. They love things that are new. That kind of stuff. What do they dislike? We hate facts, figures, data, boring. I'm a promoter, so it's easier for me to do that. But anyways, we just don't like that. What's our number one fear? Letting others down. Hate letting others down. Our fear is letting others down. And our goal is making sure everyone's okay. Very important to us. Make sure everyone's okay. All the time. All the time. Okay? Let's get into the analysts. What do they like? Data. Facts. Figures. Love it. What do they hate? They're not real big on stories. They don't necessarily hate them, but they don't like stories that make them emotionally charged to make them make a decision. They feel like the wool is being pulled over their eyes. So I tend to stay away from stories when I'm talking to analysts. I want to give them data, pressure points, stuff like that. Okay? So they're going to really like that stuff. They love things that are a no-brainer, right? Okay. So what's their fear? Making the wrong decision. They hate making the wrong decision. What's their goal? Security. Love security. Okay? Can't get enough of it. Love security. Supporters, they like taking care of others. They like being needed. They like, they're taking care of people, being needed. They like these kind of things. What's their biggest fear? Offending others. So they hate offending others. And what is their goal? Their goal is to make sure that their significant other is taken care of. So their goal is to make sure their significant other is taken care of. Okay, if you know just these simple facts about each of these people, you can start to really figure out how to sell them. Controllers are extremely emotionally engaged in safety. If you can use, hey, a lot of people are doing this, it's going to give you more control. You're going to feel more safe. You're going to feel more like you're going to have less change. A controller is the type of person who sees a bill change every month and it friggin' wrecks their life. Like, I cannot believe that the cable bill changes from $56.23 a month to $57.27 a month. It makes me freaking crazy. That's a controller. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but the truth is in their head it's pretty much true. When you start talking about control, safety, and guys, solar is all about control and safety. So the more the control, the more safe, the less change, the more you're talking about that, a controller will start to have a type of emotional frenzy that if they see your product is going to give them more control, more safety, less change, they will buy from you 100% of the time. If you're a controller right now, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's true. Someone offers me safety and control and no change. I'm in, right? So this is how you sell a controller. Going from how to create pain, I talked about relieving pain. I might drag that out a little bit more and talk about safety, control, those kind of things. Okay? Promoters. We are all about, if you want to talk to a promoter, one, if we like you. And I mean, that's kind of a precursor to everybody, if they like you. But promoters especially, if we like you and you have fun with us, we're pretty much good to go. But I'm going to give you one more piece of advice that's really important. Promoters are all about an emotional payoff down the road. Me personally, have no desire to go skydiving. But if you came to me and you were like, Jared, skydiving is amazing. You're going to be falling through the air. The feeling of falling through the air is something you can't experience any other way. And when you come down and you land on the ground, you're going to feel like $1 million. I'm in. I'm done. Okay, what do I got to do to experience this emotional payoff? Everything we do is for an emotional payoff. It's the same reason I started a business. I thought, man, I'll start this business, and over time, big emotional payoff. All promoters are about, if we have fun and we perceive there's a, okay, for instance, so if you're selling solar, hey, we had a customer just like you guys, same situation, paying about the same bill you guys had right now. They ended up going solar. Dude, they got their first bill after getting solar hooked up on the roof, and they were pumped. I'm like, dude, let's do that. That sounds fun, right? Emotional payoff is extremely large for promoters. I always end, and I'll go through a couple scenarios of what I might do, but always want to end with a story that goes, hey, and these people did this and they got X. I'm like, do it now, okay? All right, analysts, what do they want? Honestly, data, facts, figures. If you go in to sell an analyst and you don't have your visual aids, if you don't have your data, if you don't have your charts, your facts, your figures all lined up, you might as well not even walk into that house. They are not buying from you that day. You've got to know your facts. You've got to know your figures. Credibility. Credibility is so big with an analyst, right? Now, if you're an analyst and you're out trying to sell credibility to promoters, ain't going to work. We're out. We have what we like, right? So analysts, an analyst really, the biggest thing, if you are an analyst, I need you to really think about how the other people buy, because you guys really like to stick with data, facts, and figures when you're selling. The truth is, everybody's kind of like this. A lot of promoters I meet, they're out trying to sell emotional payoff all day long. People are like, I don't know if I really care about that. Or you got controllers out trying to sell safety and control all day. 3 other people don't care about that, right? So it's all about, learning about people and learning how to translate your certain sales points into that specific thing. Okay, supporters. Honestly, guys, they're not buying from you unless you can help them see. Okay, so a lot of you, I think a lot of you in your heads, you can think of someone who's a controller and a supporter. The controller is the type of person that's very uptight. Most of the time, pretty uptight. Imagine you married this person, right? They're very uptight, very in control. Their energy is charged all the time. And when you first were dating, it was awesome because you felt needed all the time. Supporter felt needed all the time. But now the supporter is married to this person, and now everything this person does in their life is to try and make sure this guy who's going on, or gal, or whatever who's going on like this, what can I do to calm that dude down, right? So when you're talking to a supporter, it's all about how does your product help this person calm down. And the truth is, they don't have to be in the same room together. They really don't. I mean, a lot of people, well, it was a one-legger, I couldn't sell. The truth is, if you can even one-leg a supporter, you just have to talk the whole time about how it's going to help this controller. Hey, your spouse, they're going to be more in control. They're going to feel more safe. They're going to calm down. It's going to be a lot better in the household. You guys won't have to have, you guys have that day where you get your bills come in, and he's a little freaked out, or she's a little freaked out, and she's a little kind of uptight about it. Yeah, you guys don't have to deal with that with solar and stuff like that. You guys are really going to like the product. If they're together, if you have a controller, and couples always come in opposites. So if you're with a controller, you're with a supporter as well. If you've got a promoter husband, you got an analyst wife. Like 100% of the time, they always marry their opposites. So if I'm in with a controller and a supporter, I'm going to sell them both at the same time. But eventually, the supporter is going to break. And what's going to happen is I'm going to sell her or him so strong that what they're going to start doing is they're going to start going, yeah, sweetheart, I don't know, like, this is how I know I sold a supporter really well. It sounds really good. I think that would help you a ton. I think this sounds like a really good idea. Don't you think this is a good idea? So once I get this person helping me sell this guy, guys, I usually get that sell 99.9% of the time. So it's all about selling both. I think a lot of sales reps, they'll go into this controller supporter situation, and they will just, supporter, and I think it's pretty subconscious, but supporter, I don't need to even talk to that person, right? Hey, Mr. Controller, you're the decision maker. Safety control, safety control, safety control. Guys, it'll go so much better if you sell them both at the same time. So let me give you a couple of examples of what I might do. Again, it's not about selling to each specific. It's about selling to as if all are in the room. So let's go back to my rates are raising, right? So I might say something like this. Hey, have you guys noticed rates are raising? Or hey, are you guys seeing the same, whatever? Oh yeah, our rates have been raising. Hey, cool. That's one of the biggest reasons why people have been upgrading the systems with solar and going solar. Is the cool thing about it is with the rates are going to be locked in. And I work my way this way every single time. I start with controllers. I move on to analysts. I go to the supporters and I finish a story for promoters. So I would say something like, yeah, one of the biggest reasons people really like solar right now is you get a lot more control of your rates. So instead of your rates going up and down all the time, you get so much more control of your rates. They're going to be flat. You're not going to have to deal with the change. You're going to have you're going to feel a lot better, a lot safer, and more in control of your rate, which is super cool. The other thing that's nice is here's all the facts and figures that show you why it's a good decision with the rates going up. And hey, the rates are going to be raising by X amount per year, and X this and data that and data this, and this is why a lot of people are going solar right now. And I'm only talking to one person, guys, just so you know, but I'm going to do all 4 people. Also, one of the things that's super cool is it's going to really help everybody in the house feel like they're not going to have to deal with the changes in the bill. They're not going to have to deal with the changes in the rates. Everybody in the house is going to feel a lot better about what's going on because solar is so good for that, making sure everybody's okay. One of the things that's super cool, and guys, down the street, we had a customer who was just in your guys' same situation. Their rates just kept raising and raising and raising. They got solar. They got the system installed in their house. They got their first bill, and guys, they were pumped. They are so pumped about getting solar. So that problem with rates increasing, you guys wouldn't have to deal with that anymore. Okay. So I hope that gives you an example of how I do this. Let's say summer rates are raising. So summer rates. So hey, you guys. One thing with Rocky Mountain Power is their summer rates are a lot higher. Have you guys seen that in your guys' bill? Yeah, you have. Okay. Yeah, the reason they do that is because Rocky Mountain Power, it's not just because you're using more power, but because the rates actually increase. So a lot of people really hate that. So a lot of people are going solar because it gives you more control, more safety on your bill, right? It really helps. It's going to be more flat, no more change. They can't screw you over by raising your rates on you during the summer. That kind of stuff. They don't have the power. They don't have the power to do that anymore. You get power over what your bill is going to be, which is super cool. Also, here's some data, some facts and figures that show how the rates raise during the summer and how it screws people over. And here's just more data for you, okay? Lastly, and also you guys, one thing you're going to see is because you're not dealing with getting screwed over during the summer, everybody's going to be happier. You guys aren't going to get that first bill in July and be like, oh, suck, our bill is $100 more than it's supposed to be. So you guys won't have to deal with that anymore. The people in the house, your spouses and kids, no one's going to have to deal with that anymore. And then lastly, we had a customer, same situation as you guys, end up getting solar. They were just super pissed about their rates raising every single summer. Ended up going solar, got their first summer bill, and it didn't go up at all, and they were pumped. So with that whole, with the whole summer rate thing, you guys won't have to deal with that anymore. Okay.